I fight for education, that we should have better education. I'm not saying anything else inside that. They're misinforming and miseducating. Look, the biggest thing for an entrepreneur is you've got to learn how to make mistakes. And the school punishes you for making mistakes. Second, you have to operate in a team. Everybody talks about team, except in school. If you take tests as a team, you're called cheaters.
Yeah.
So just those two mind constructs. The average guy goes out there afraid of making a mistake and starts a business and they make mistakes, obviously. Then they don't have a team.
Gotcha.
And the odds are stacked against them.
Yeah.
So my wife and I started with a bookkeeper. Why a bookkeeper? Because the number one thing an entrepreneur must have is accurate records. I've made so many guys show up and they said, where are your records? They want me to fund their company. They don't have any records. They have no numbers. I said, how do I know if you're good or bad? Well, no, man, it's a good concept. Gypsies. My friend is a gypsy, and he says in the gypsy culture that if you have two, one is theirs. I'm going, what? But then I started thinking about my friends, my classmates who are hardcore Hawaiians. They're great people. They can sing and dance and all this, but family is everything. And so if his family's hurting and I have extra, it's up to me, because we're all part of the same family, to help each other. And that's what really hurts most entrepreneurs. It's like we started a whole conversation. What's your family culture? What were your family's belief systems? What were their values? And they all play a factor inside your success in so-called the real world outside of the family. Because, I'm just saying his culture was different than mine.
Yeah.
Same as my culture is different than my own family. My brothers and sisters all have master's degrees and all that, and I'm going, they send their kids to college and going, oh, have a good time, But they still believe, the Japanese still believe in college and saving money and job security.
Yeah.
And becoming a government employee.
Sure.
I'd rather shoot myself. Well, the Japanese had a thing called a kumiai. Kumiai was that if you lived in the same neighborhood in Hawaii and you were Japanese, all the Japanese stuck together. And my father, who was 6'4", for Japanese is pretty big, the kumiai would come and, talk to our family about the Japanese sticking together. My father threw them out. And these are he says, look, we're Americans. Get that in your head right now. So I had this conflicting cultural values. So again, for every entrepreneur, first thing you must inspect is what was your cultural heritage. Not that it's right or wrong. When I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I almost went to the devil for that one, Because Japanese, you don't ever criticize your father. Same as Chinese, Korean and Chinese, right? So when I was asked, well, how do you feel about writing a book about your father? I said, well, he's dead. I had to wait for him to die before I wrote the book, because he would have killed me. Yeah, I had a great father. Both my rich dad and my poor dad were great. They're two opposite guys. The one guy really believed in school, but he didn't know what he didn't know. And my rich dad never went to school, and he didn't know what he didn't know. But the two made kind of a whole education. So one was a capitalist, one was a socialist. Now they're tearing down Robert E. Lee and Grant and all these guys, because America is now worshiping the victim mentality. That's what I said on Patrick Bet David. And a couple of my friends called me and said, you're an asshole. And I said, well, you're entitled to your opinion, but I've been called better, and stuff like this. But I said, we're raising victims. Our schools are pumping out victims. And the reason I like this guy, Jordan Peterson, is he says, it's not what a person stands for. You see that? He did this great thing. It's what are they against? He says, a lot of times they'll stand up there and say, well, I stand for socialism, but they're really against the rich. And so that's why when you talk about Andrew Yang or Pete Buttigieg and all this stuff, I wonder what they really stand for.